she actually he joined alafu akahepa.
Wacha
Si waiting room.
Unaenda ngapi?
Kuna John Mwangi, Isaac Ekwam. I'm telling you.
Oh, the Bible.
Want to
Ni
see?
ngapi home? Good ndo njiaje hapa nitamaliza. Asha.
Tunawasikia guys, tunawasikia.
Mnatafuta nini nyinyi? You guys, mnatafuta nini? Hello? Mnatafuta nini bro? Sikusikia hata. Unakaa vizuri? Hey, you're looking good. Okay. Ish. Eh? Uko mute bro. I can't hear you.
Tunatafuta mahali pa kujipanga.
Ndio maana hapo mnasumbua ofisi ya wenyewe.
Hello.
Uko mute. Nini? You guys look good though. Jibambeni. So it's about that time you start letting people in, eh?
We need to do what?
You start letting people in.
We need to tell them. Where is Chiza?
Where is Chiza, Mike? Have you spoken to him?
Oh snap! No, let me call him. Shit.
Now, please talk to him.
About that time you start letting people in.
Yeah. No, wait. Mbona nasikia sauti ya Asha na Simoni?
Where is Chiza, Mike? Have you spoken to him?
I am calling him. Let me call him. Hi, I forgot. Yeah. Is your doctor guy in? Yeah. No. Bado. She's a man. Okay. Where is this guy?
But usually, from what I know, in my class,
And copy to clipboard. Okay, call. Hey, Sasha. Hey, calm down. You look good already. Kisa is mteja people. Prolin, you are mute. Hata siku nini. Sikusikii. Pro.
so excited. Woohoo!
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you guys hear us?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes. Yes, you can hear.
oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming through the event. My name is Pauline, and this is Asha Ali. We are going to be your hosts for today. We're going to be
Niweke
moderating.
nionekana.
So thank you for coming. We're still waiting for people to join in because we still have people who are still joining in. So before we start with the program, first we will start with the house rules, which are very simple and easy. Before you talk, just raise your hand. At the Zoom, there's a place that you can actually see like a small hand, make a raise like this. So you can just tap on the hand, and then we will know that you want to say something or you want to communicate or have a conversation. And number two, make sure you're on mute, because if you are not on mute, then we won't be able to hear each other correctly. And number three, make sure that you're part of the conversation. It's just that easy. Actually, not that complicated, very easy.
And you can also send in questions via the chat. There's Mike who's going to help you if you're talking on chat. Thank you. So we will give you a background of As4Ha as we wait for the other participants to join. So, Prolin, do you mind?
Yes, kindly, please. So, As4Ha is an initiative that started just as a conversation between some guys, myself, Asha, and Mike, who is behind the scene somewhere.
Hey.
Yes. So what we do, we distribute sanitary towels to in everywhere, not just in slums and places that are girls can't get sanitary towels. So what we do is we collect sanitary towels from people, but currently we are doing it ourselves, because before the initiative started, before we officially started distributing the sanitary towels, we were saving a little for the initiative because it's something that is closer to us and it's something that we really wanted to do and be part of the community or the society to help out. So it's something that was just started off as a conversation between us, and we thought, why not find a way that we can be part of the society, or why not find a way that we can just be responsible for each and everyone around us, not just girls, but also the men that lives around us. So today's conversation is on society's roles in menstruation, where we will educate some of us, because we talk about menstruation, but menstruation is a huge thing and it's something that not everyone has time or not everyone can understand. And so today's topic will be society's roles on menstruation, where we will educate each and every person on their roles in menstruation or in society, what we need to do, how to avoid some things, what to learn on menstruation, how to react towards it, how to treat people, how to take care of our little girls. So there's just going to be a lot, a conversation around that.
Yes. So we went to visit some girls last month and we asked them a few questions, and one of them actually said that she's afraid to go and buy pads because of the boys in the hood might laugh at her because she was like a bit tiny. And so we figured maybe the men in the society don't know what goes on with menstruation, how to handle it. And also there was a friend of mine who the wife died, and now he was raising the girl child by his own, and he didn't know what to do when the girl asked him, my dad, this is what happened, this is what is happening, what do I do? He had to take the girl to the hospital because hakuwa anajua what to do. So we are here to educate you and make sure you leave this place knowing something. Yeah.
So we're still waiting for guys to join in. There's still people who are joining in. There's someone who's, oh, okay, thank you.
So as we wait for the rest of the people, it will be nice if you introduce yourselves. We can start with Mike, then we continue. Mike? Okay, as we wait for Mike to fix his technical problems, John Mwangi, do you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Unless there's another Jamwangi. Hi, my name is Jamwangi. What do I say? Work at Open Institute. I find this interesting because I've never really thought about how men can participate in the cycle or menstruation with for the ladies. So I'm very curious and interested in listening.
Okay,
Thank you.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi, you're back.
Yeah, sorry for going MIA. Could you please rephrase your question?
Introduce yourself.
Oh, right. Sorry. So hi people, my name is Mike. I'm part of this awesome crew. And yes, we just thought that people should actually think about their roles, right? Everybody should actually get to know their roles in terms of being a guy, being a woman, being, a brother to someone, a dad to someone, or being just a person in someone's circle and they're going through menstruation. I think they should be part of it in as much as general life is concerned, right?
Mhm.
Yes, yeah. So that's me. Yes.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay, Ruth, just a hi and your names, but we move faster.
Yeah. And kindly please unmute yourself before you say anything, because maybe you might be talking, but we can't hear you because Ababu, you are on mute.
Yeah, okay. Hi, Ruth, or anyone who's
Yeah.
able to start and just say hi and your name so that we move faster.
Hi,
Hello.
Hi.
how are you?
Good.
Oh, my name is Joyce Wanjiro. I'm the current Miss Kibera, and I'm so happy for this platform that you have given me. I'm sorry I was so busy. I just got into the meeting, but I'm happy about what you're doing, and I'm proud of what you're doing as Ask for Her. And also, I'd like to give my appreciation even for the support that you're giving us and the girls by distributing sanitary towels. It's really very impactful, and the girls are really looking forward to how we are going to work together in the mentorship that you promised them. So, thank you very much for this platform.
Oh, thank you, Joyce. Oh, guys, before we continue, so the person just the chick who talked, or the person who just said hi, her name is Joyce, and she's the current Miss Kibra. She's actually the current Miss Kibra, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So she has really been very helpful when it comes to Ask for Her initiative. She has really been very supportive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Going once.
Anyone who wants to say hi before we move on?
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Caroline, and um, I love what you're doing. It's really something like something really nice because it will help so many kids and so many girls. So it's a great initiative, and I'm so proud of you guys. So all the best.
Thank you so much, Carol.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Carol.
making time for us.
Thank you.
Anyone else who wants to say hi?
Usiogope kuongea. This is a free space, people. So
Just
say much.
unmute yourself and say habari zenyu, and we are here to respond.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi Proline and Asha. I think I already said hi earlier, but my name is Esther Njagi. I work with these lovely ladies, so I'm just very happy to be here and looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah,
Thank
she's
you.
actually one of our panelists today.
Yeah. she's going to share her story with all of us. So it seems like everyone is okay. Ni kama sasa it's time for us to ngoa nanga. So we'll start by introducing our panelists. We have Daktari, and then we have then we have Esther, who will share something small on menstruation, her experiences, and then we also have Chiza, who is yet to join in. Okay. So maybe we just start with Asha. Tell us something.
I think we have a few questions as we lead to the discussion and allow our panelists to start talking, and it's to the crowd and everyone at large. So my first question would be how was your MENAC? That's your first period. How was your first time? And to the guys in the room, has anyone ever told you, or a daughter or a sister ever told you if they're on their periods? Or are you comfortable having that conversation with a woman in your space? So to the ladies, how was your MENAC? To the guys, are you comfortable having that conversation?
Maybe to explain what MENAC is the first time where a girl experiences menstruation. So isikuwe ni jargon. Yes, and from the guys, wacha tu nianze nye. Me, I had a girlfriend, unaona? Hizi ndo vitu zina happen huku nje. And yes, she used to talk about her menses. Najua obviously sijui inakuanga ni a thing ama it's a pretense, I don't know. Anakuanga tu on edge, you know. Vile mtu anakuanga yani moody. So in a few seconds she's smiling. The other second she's like, dude, stay away. The other second she's like, oh, come, I wanna hug you. I mean, it's like, what is going on? And you know, I have to ask, and it takes a few, you know, moments of kunijamia and kunismailia to actually tell me that, hey, this is what's going on. I didn't feel the freedom in her voice or in her actions to actually just come out and tell me, hey, this is what's going on for this month. I might act this way, so be gentle or, you know, be understanding or something, right? So mi nimepitia hizi vitu, hiyo maisha ni ngumu. Yeah.
I think you thought buying chocolates was the ultimate way.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've already done that. You've actually bought some.
Well, the amount of gifts I've given for these periods.
Anyone else? Anyone who wants to share their or should we repeat the question?
Yeah, so John.
Yeah, for me, I have a younger sister. She's just 1 year younger than me. And my experience, you know, my parents are old school. It's an old school kind of upbringing. Not that entirely old school of, yeah, this men should only do this and ladies should only do this. It's old school of when such like periods are not discussed, sex is not discussed, drinking, please, that's what is going on that. So for my sister, I only knew about it per se when we're in university. And I didn't like that. And since then, I didn't like that. I didn't know, because we're close to my sister. I call her my twin. I felt so bad that she didn't feel like she could tell me about it when we were in high school. So I don't even, until even today, I don't know when she started. But after that in university, I would know from the girlfriends, and then now currently married, of course, I would know. I participate. I can admit I've never bought, I've never bought pads, but I know which brand. I know which brand is the best. I hear talking about it. I would say the most I would participate in is either feeling bad, you know, feeling sorry, pathetic. As you were saying, chocolates, buying chocolates. because at the end of the day, it's still, giving her an ear, for her to talk about what she's going through. But that's as much as my contribution goes about that. So I'm wondering, when I got a daughter, will it be, Mama, those are your things to do with. So that's why I'm interested in this conversation here right now.
Wow, I actually feel like just like you said, you're waiting for the day that you'll have a daughter, and then you're waiting for the mama. I feel like what tunaangalia this situation like hii kazi ya mama. Mama is the one who supposed to know proline and in the period sangapi. Mama is the one who needs to know Asha tatumia which brand. Yeah, as in mama is the one to know everything about me.
Yeah, I'm interested in this conversation because I want to be part and parcel in the process. I'm very close with my son, so I'd also like to be very close with my daughter if I get a daughter. So that's what I want to know, so that I really don't want to do Toto Shika chocolate to my daughter. I really don't want to do that.
Wow.
I want to be like, okay, now this thing has started and your mom is not around, so I'll just do it right now. Or I call her up and I tell her, okay, let's have like a Zoom call and you talk to her about it. That's how I want it to go, and get rid of the chocolates and woye pole.
Yeah. The hugging,
The hugs, the
the
cuddling.
whatever.
Yeah, it seems like chocolate is a big deal, yeah.
Well, that industry of chocolate has received a lot of money from men.
Cadbury, wow. Sour. It's business, but
Thank you, John. Anyone else?
I think I will share my menac, since it's I studied immediately after class 8. You know how you finish class 8, you've just you've just gotten your results, and I was on my way to Mombasa, and then I got shocked because I thought I was getting sick or whatever. Even if the teachers told us in school, you know, when you're in class 6, you're taught this thing, so this will happen. But then I didn't know like in depth what's gonna happen. So I was in this buses, Crown bus, on the way to Coast. Then I'm just there, what to do. And my mom is like, ni nini? Namwambia, mam, mimi nakufa. Sasa unakufa nini? Ninatoka damu. Mom, aki nakufa. And I was crying. And she's telling me, relax, it's nothing serious. It happens all the time. I'm calm. Then I remember she gave me her shuka. Luckily enough, we were close to Mtituande where we stop and go to Nini. So I got her shuka, and then we got pads. And then now when on our way to Coast was when now she was explaining this thing and how it happens every month. And if you feel cramps, and that extends to cramps, if you get like certain pains, you get painkillers. If it's too much, you need to go to the hospital because it might be something else. But the way she was explaining it, I think if she did it earlier, I was actually crying. Yeah, so that was my menac.
Wow. Well, that is not so bad. I think mine was totally different. Yangu, I think iko tu out of this world kabisa. Mi yangu ilinipata ushago. Kwanza nilikuwa naishi na grandma, and then my grandma nilikuwa wale watene na antene. Hawajui hata, well, I think she knows what menstruation is, but I feel like for her, she couldn't just, as in, she didn't have time to explain. And then Ashab, the whole, at home, we were living with boys, so I also can't tell boys, you know, you guys, hey, there's something happening, I don't know what is actually happening to me. So it was kind of tricky on my side, because I didn't have anyone to tell me that. I knew what a sanitary towel was, but I feel like I didn't have that much knowledge about menstruation or about how to take care of myself. And I was just in primary. I think in Elianza Mapema, I was in, if it's not class 7, then it should be class 8. I didn't have anyone to talk to. My mom was not around, which I still feel like if she were around back then maybe she would have explained things better to me and I would have understood. But the only knowledge that I had was the little knowledge that I had gotten from school. And it's that from class 6 ile textbook na sasa ndo mnaanza kulearn about reproduction, but of course the teacher won't like touch sana on the topic. mtapitishwa juju. And then also people, I also got to learn about menstruation through people who visit schools. You know that these guys who visit schools and then they say, so today we've come, we want to teach you about menstruation. So this is how you put on a pad. They even come with to experiment, they experiment hapo mbele. You just watch what wanafanya and all that. I feel like for me, that is how I learned about menstruation. Only then for me to come to Nairobi now and then meet Akina Asha, and then sasa nikajua what exactly menstruation means and what it really entails and how huge it is and how as an individual or as a person we need to really understand it, because it's something that it's part of our life. It's something that the moment you you just start your menses, then as a woman it's something that is going to be part of you forever. So we kind of just feel like we all need to be in each other's life and just learn things about things that people are going through.
Okay.
Wow, that sounds wow. Me, but if I saw any blood thing, that is death, fainting, ICU, and all that stuff. No, I would really like to hear what guys think, right? Ms. Nyamaze, this is a free space. I know many people have been in this situation, and it's important to know everyone in this space is willing to listen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think Esther Njagi is in a very, very right position, very right position to give us something small or how you experience was with menstruation, what you think about it, how your first time
Okay.
was. Yeah.
Okay, you guys can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I think my first time was so much like yours, Proline. Like my mom didn't really sit us down. Yes, my mom was around, but I think those days our parents were not ready to talk about sex and periods and stuff like that. So what she did is she bought us this book called Girls Growing Up. I don't know if it's such a book for Kitambo. There was Girls Growing Up and Boys Growing Up. So Girls Growing Up had everything like periods, the changes in your body, puberty, and the same for Boys Growing Up. So me, when I read the book plus school, home science, I think, or CRE, I can't remember which class 5 Apple, we were taught about menstruation and everything. Then these guys I think it was Always Pads, they used to come and do these girl talks, like all the girls go to the hall and we're told about menstruation, this is how you use a pad, etc. But now it was also scary because boys would be waiting for us ndio waone hizi pads ni gani umepewa, and you don't even have a bag to hide the pad. So when you're walking back to class, the boys are shouting, "Hey, what?" They come, they grab your pad from your hand, they start like doing like this, like making fun of you. Actually, it was so much trauma. So we really used to dread like starting your period in school. So me, luckily I started my period when I was at home during the holidays. So I was just like, thank God, as in no boys are here to see. But at the same time, even though I started, I didn't know I had started my period. I just had cramps, like a backache. But I was cleaning the house. So I was like, today I'm so tired of cleaning the house. Then now I went to the Louis and I was like, oh, okay. Now at least I knew this is a period. I asked, I think my sis, I was not comfortable talking to my mom about pads, periods, nini. I just told my sis, who then gave me hers. So that was my first time. I knew, but I didn't have like the support per se of, okay, these are cramps. I didn't even know what cramps were. I just thought it's a backache. And then your first period, I don't know if this is awkward to talk about, but your first period does not look like blood. It looks like something else for me. So I was like, I wasn't even sure what was happening. So I think my sis really guided me in that. Thank God for big sisters. So yeah, that was my experience. Yeah, there was a lot of shame though around periods, especially when in the school I was at. Like boys would really, really make fun of you. So just growing up, I knew it was something to hide, not something to be proud of or talk about. Yeah, that was my experience in a nutshell.
Wow.
Joyce, do you mind giving us your menak or?
Yes. Like, how was your first
How was
time
the first
live?
time? And then we could hear from Japheth if he has ever had such a conversation with
Yes.
a sister or any lady in the house.
So for me, how the experience was is like I was in a charitable children institution. So I was not at home and it was like a boarding school. So you're like in the dormitory. I was in like class 6. Yeah. So I'm in the dormitory and I'm like I've woken up with my stomach paining and headache. And I'm like, what is happening? And you know, we were living with girls that are bigger than us. So somebody already knows that I'm nimefika hiyo stage, but they're like, enda ukaone matron, mwambie uko mgonjwa. And I'm like, because I didn't know, but nili experience najua a difference in my inner area. So I had to like now visit the clinic was inside the school where I was going to school. So nikaenda nikaambia social worker I'm not feeling well. Akaniambia how is it? Nikamwambia it is something yenye si kawaida. Akaniambia oh hapana, hiyo ni kawaida. It is like that for all girls when you reach a certain age. And now I love the fact that she really now took me through that process and made me even mentally realize that I've reached that stage of maturity. Then now you are not given sanitary towels unless you have reached that age. So I was given one, a pack, and then I was told how to use it, go to the dormitory, have a shower, and then now place it how it is supposed to be placed. And that is how I got to know about it. But now at school, I'm scared because at kutembea, I'm like, now everybody knows. Imeanza. But I really got. Yeah?
It feels like when you're in your menstruation, it feels like you see the air. It's like someone is watching you.
Yes.
So,
So I was like, even when I went to school that day, I'm like, in class, I'm like, even the boys know now. Nimeanza na everybody knows around me. So I was scared. I was very cautious when sitting down and waking up. Kilala, nikiamka, I'm like, and is someone looking at me? Have I messed up? But I thank God because now nikakuja tu nikazoea, and even when the girls now are growing up, I was able to now transition them and tell them what they're supposed to do. And that's why I've specialized in that to date.
that's great an experience. I feel like it's like all of us went through the same because the same thing, but our experiences are like just different scenarios in little things.
Yeah. Um, any guy in the house who wants to speak on
Yeah.
is he comfortable having this conversation with a lady? Japheth. Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, so hello guys.
Hello.
My name is Japheth. I am a medic, but before coming to your patient doctor confidentiality stuff, you have that freedom to talk to your patient, and they can tell you I've been having this or this is how it's been. Outside or before when I became a medic, it used to be like I'd say a taboo kind of thing. You're not comfortable talking about it. It's a topic left for either akina auntie, akina mom, au ndo watadili na hiyo stuff na the younger sister. But it's right now I think so it's a comfortable topic to talk about, I'd say. Yes.
Thank you. Anyone else who wants, any other guy that wants to share their experience? Candy. Hi, Candy.
Hi, Proli.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm fine. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you very clearly.
Okay. So do you want me to share my experience or?
I want you to share with all of us first time experience how your menopause like.
Okay, let me introduce myself first. I'm Candy Oguta and I work at the Open Institute under the programs department. My first time was, it was very bad. But like Esther, mine got me at home. And I have this African mother, why I asked Tima.
Yeah.
So I go to the loo, find out, manze nimeanza. And then now, I've never been open kabisa with my mom. So the only time tunakuwa na encounters ni zile time, umefanya makosa na lazima ujireport and all that. So here's a case when my periods are starting, sijui nitamwambia aje. So I go to her and I'm there, I'm stammering. I'm like, mama, kuja uone. And she doesn't even know atanifanyia nini because I'm scared. But finally I tell her, she tells me, she tells me how to use the sanitary towel and all that. Sasa sikuwa najua, nilikuwa najua, but hey, it's like your time kila kitu imeevaporate because I'm also scared. But that was that. She taught me, nikajua, but kitu ilikuwa inaniboni ile ati don't tell anyone. Why should they know? As in, they should know how to handle ladies during these times. Yeah, so that was my time.
Wow. Thank you, Candy. It's kind of the same experience with all of us. The same thing. It's like with all the experience is just the same with everyone. Is there any other guy that wants to share their experience, or if they've had chance to talk about menstruation, or should we move on
to the next?
There's someone who wants to say something. Can you unmute yourself before you say anything?
Okay, so I think we'll move to the next question.
Yes.
Oh yeah, so
Well, some of these experiences me, I don't think I would have ever known. So well, I'm glad I actually know what goes on when stuff is happening and people are moody.
I wanted to add on the Esther, what she had talked about, her experience. Yeah, that was so real in our primary school. It was a public, those public schools in the 90s. And literally the only thing you know about periods is when the chicks have been called for a meeting and all the boys have been told, go and play football or something. And then when you come back, there's some chicks who are like kind of flossy, like, yeah, we got something you don't know, you have no idea what is going on. You guys are kind of, so it was other than the guys hitting on the chicks also used to hit on us because we don't know what is going on. Like, you're so clueless. Yeah, it used to happen.
To say something after John.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, like in our school, it used to, like for a long time until like I reached class 7. For a long time, I used to wonder what is this thing these guys kept on being talked about, and I was curious because the chicks will talk about like it's some of them. Those who are talking about the floss, like they are on a higher level, and there's some girls who matured, and when I say matured, is because we saw some things growing when we're in class 5. And we still don't know what's going on because now at home you can't go and talk about it. Dare you bring it up, you'll be whooped. In school, you're whooped. Like there's a time I thought, for real, there's a time I thought honey was like a car, name for hooting. So there's a teacher who had me saying, I'm honey. I'm thinking I'm hooting. The teacher had and whooped my ass, like whooped. So it is more of when we grow up, it was a lot of ignorance, like don't tell the kids anything as long as ignorance is bliss. So that's how now when you get older, it seems like you're an asshole, but you're not an asshole. It's just that you just didn't know a lot, like all this information.
That's true. Wow.
Can I say something, Proline? That's interesting, John, because I don't remember us flossing. We actually were embarrassed to carry the pads because, in my school, because you have to put in your pocket, it's so tiny. So the thing is green. Remember the old pads had a green paper. So it's screaming everywhere. You're trying to hide it. You can't hide it. The boys are running, snatching. So I also find it interesting because we all were in the home science and CRE classes when we were being taught about the girl parts and menstruation, and then the boys and how they change. So I just find it interesting that boys didn't really know what was happening to the girls. I don't know. I don't understand. But I think, again, as you said, ignorance, because we were separated. It's like this is a girl thing. So girls are being taken away to be given talks, but boys were never given talks. Maybe it made guys more curious. I don't know. Yeah, so it was interesting to hear the perspective of the guys, because I really used to hate the boys in my, like I hated the boys in my school. But now I'm better. Now I don't hate boys anymore. At that time. And I was in a public school, so maybe it was different for private schools. I don't know.
I think it's because they used to take the girls away and have this conversation with the girls only.
So it was secretive or something.
Yeah. What is happening? And then I think it's from the old generation, they still believe that menstruation should be something hidden. Like even right now, when you go to the shop to buy pads, utafungiwa kwa gazeti, like the shop just put it kwa gazeti.
Without even you like asking him to do that.
And he almost doesn't even want to touch the pads. It's like they have something wrong with them. So me, I started saying, wacha kufunga na gazeti. So he's looking at you like, oh my God, you're going to walk with these things in the see-through jewel. I remember the paper bags for like Uchumi and Nakumat. They look at you like, how can you dare walk with this, with these pads? Yeah.
Yeah. I personally feel like, or I look at the situation in a way, in this manner, that the reason why men don't, like, they have no idea about anything or what girls go through during their menstruation. Well, there are men who know what we go through during our menstruation, but that is because they asked or they went ahead and decided to, because there's now Google, so you can literally get any answer to any question. So I feel like the men around us, they've come to have knowledge on menstruation through Google and through just finding knowledge on their own. Because the truth of the matter is, we are yet to create that platform or that situation where we allow men to be part of menstruation conversation.
Actually, I just remembered Otile Brown's and this song, Wanawake na Pombe, I don't know.
Yeah,
Watu
yes,
na Pombe or
Wanawake
something.
na Pombe.
He says ovulation day. And I just remembered that because my mom was telling me back in the day, the husband will know he's on her periods because they can't have sex.
Yes.
That's the only time.
Yeah. Because that is the only time he will ask you, Kwani this zako. Actually, it's like there are men who know about our menstruation because they had to know our safe days. You get? Alikuwa anataka lazima ajue Proline safe day yako inakuanga lini. So ndio akianza kuhesabu anajua Proline like an experience menstruation. But anajua tu Proline an experience menstruation, but hajui menstruation ni nini. You get? But they know Proline anaenda menstruation. He will buy me a pad atanipatia sanitary towel, but ajui ananipatia sanitary towel kwa nini? Like he's
Wacha. Are you for real?
Yes. Mimi kwanza the other day, not even the other day, it was last week, on Friday, there's the guy who asked me what is a P2.
Okay.
Kuna mtu ameniuliza P2 ni nini, I had to now start explaining. So you see,
Kwani, okay. Didn't we all go to, I mean, okay, like we all know that menstruation leads to, like childbirth, that whole process, like men don't know that process, like some men don't know.
Yes.
So men don't go with their chicks to the gyna, like to plan when they want to get kids, like, okay, right. Okay.
Guys, I think that's being one of the guys here, I have to speak for us, So this is our track record in as far as knowledge about menstruation goes, right? So in primary kulikuanga na this, what do you call them, talks, boy talks and girl talks, and then walimu wanawaseparate, wanawaambia ati wasichana waende kwa room flani and then dudes stay behind. So tulikuwa stuck, tulikuwa tunajua sisi ni different, yes, in terms of our reproductive systems, but then again the whole aspect of machile being taken to other rooms and us being remaining in another room and then talking about men's stuff never really prompted us to like talk about or wonder what they were being told, because it was either sex talk ama kitu kama hizo vitu zenye zi ufichwa. Aya, tukagraduate hapo tukaenda high school. You know, high school, most of us, if not all of us, but I'm sure most of us have gone to boys school. So anything girl and menstruation or whatever, tukasahau. And then now we come outside kwa dunia and you're told that sometimes I have moods, sometimes, and then you go to the supermarket and see always unaona ad kwa TV. I feel like we sort of learned through osmosis. Nona, tunaangalia observation, right? So whether we do something wrong or right, it's never really defined, because now we're just rolling with it. It looks like I've hit a nerve, kwa hivyo wacha nisimsumbue. It looks like it's that time. You never really know, because you might assume that she's angry because she's in a period, na inakuwa some form of normalization yenye watu wana mistake her being angry with menses. Well, it's not the case. You know, she's also human. She can also get angry because something happened, ama anaweza kuwa too low because something happened in life, not because of menses. So si tuko stuck in between. So si tunajua tu kuna kuanga nazo, kuna pads, there's menses, but and then tuseme ukweli, madudes sasa mali mnaanza kuwa interested is smashing, unaona. So watu wengi wanaanza kufikiria hii maneno wakitaka kusmash. Then now you start asking, there's safe days, because you remember in your science class kulikuwa na kitu kama safe days, so you know, to avoid having a baby when I'm a baby, so I'm gonna, you know, all that
Conveniently,
stuff.
you just remember the same.
That's the only thing you remember.
Yeah.
That's not the other parts about fallopian tubes.
Yes, exactly. So atutai, and then it exactly like Esther said, it doesn't go beyond that. Akuna date 38 afika, and then we'll start thinking about what she's going through or what she needs. We tutabaki tu hapo, you know, unless it's gonna happen or we want to smash, that's when we'll ask. You know, that's where we are stuck at. I don't know about other people, other men here. Naona kuna kina Deno, Dennis. Maybe I'm saying it different, but that's how I experienced it growing up. That is.
I think I'm
I would
gonna
like
give you
to
a
hear,
little bit
man.
of
I would like to
information.
hear dudes talk about what they know exactly, because
Yeah.
me hapo ndo nimefika.
What do you know, so that we
Yes.
can give you more information on
Right.
the level malimefika tukuongezee.
Like as a man, what do you know?
What do you know?
Or what knowledge do you have on menstruation?
menstruation.
Or what would you want to know?
Yeah, and exactly, these are the questions. Do you know about menstrual hygiene? Do you know about cramping? Do you know about the mood swings that come with it? Do you know certain things? And if you know, to what extent do you know, so that you can liven this conversation. So I think I'll start calling people out.
Can I say something on that?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes. So what we know, as Michael said, the knowledge started streaming in university. Most of us were in boys' high school, so as we knew our things, what's going on. During that time for men's circumcision, for the tribes that do it. So for us, when you're 13 or 14, you're taught about just men's stuff, just period men's stuff. So now universities start picking up things like all the something. So what we know is something like contraceptives. So different contraceptives that includes pills and rubbers, and then menstruation hygiene, zero. Like all you know is you wear the pads, you dispose of the pads. There are special pads. There's the tampons, and there's the tampons. Yes.
And that
and want to shower all the time. In my life, the ladies that have been around me is they have very painful, strong menstruation, like very painful. At times, like for example, my sister will black out. Like it's so bad. So that's what I know. Like menstruals just comes with a lot of pain. So keep your distance. Keep your mouth shut and keep your distance for at least 2 to 3 days, then come back. So mood swings, again, for me now, mood swings it's part and parcel. I'm sorry to generalize. I don't know if some ladies get mood swings and others don't, but for me, it's a blanket now. It comes with mood swings and it comes with some emotional stuff. Like you can't tell. And that's about it. Full stop.
Oh, you just know that it comes with a whole package, but now you don't know what the package entails.
Yeah, you just know the tip of the iceberg. Because you see, I had a girlfriend in university who wanted to show me how to put on a tampon. And I asked her, why should I know that? She was like, well, you need to know, it's a good knowledge. I'm like, I'm not
Yes.
going to be a doctor, so I don't need to know that. So that
Yeah,
was,
yeah, it's really, it's also good to know how, how put on their sanitary towels and all that. Because I have also gotten questions on, so how do you guys put on tampons? And if I'm like, so you want me to explain? So should I explain? And then the moment I start explaining, mtu anakufanyia. Anakunja sura uko like, but you just told me explain how I use it.
okay.
Sisi najua tu kitu tunafanyanga ni kuguess. So I think I'm getting a lot of insight so far. Yeah.
Okay.
I think sorry, let me just say what I'm getting is it's still a mystery. I feel like this whole thing is still a mystery to men.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things they don't understand, like even just the basic, I'm not even throwing shade or anything, but just the basic cycle.
It's true.
Or, how does menstruation occur and why? I think even that is also a mystery, even before we go further into products and the hygiene and the everything.
But I think we have
the cycle,
the science.
The cycle, like Mike said. Sorry.
Yes, John.
Yes, John.
Then the cycle, we know, like Mike what Mike said, the cycle most men will know is because it's related to sex. So the safe days, the days that you're not safe, in quotes, but I've never believed in per se in those safe days and not safe days, but I know that cycle because of that.
Not that necessarily, John, sorry to interrupt you, not about safe days, but what is the menstrual cycle? What actually happens in a woman's body during the menstrual cycle? What happens pre and post, and therefore what causes the premenstrual syndrome and the mood swings and the pain, like just the science behind it. There's a whole, there's a cycle, and this and this and this happens at this and this and this stage. And also understanding that will also help you to understand why is she feeling the way she's feeling, why is she moody. There's a certain hormone that is high, there's a certain hormone that is low at this point. Just the science of it would be quite eye-opening as well.
Yeah, okay. I think I used to period.
I also think that
period. Okay.
I also think that.
Continue, Joyce.
Yeah. I was saying, one thing I have realized is that people do not understand that menstruation is a human issue. It's not a woman issue. And when we understand that, then we will get to involve even the men because they are part of our lives. And where there's a woman, there's a man. So a lot of people do not see the importance of engaging men in menstrual hygiene and awareness, and that is why there's all this confusion. So I believe even as we continue with these programs, we should initiate a program that will incorporate even men, because like for yesterday, we were having a pad drive for Kibera people, and one of the women there challenged me and told me, we are doing mentorship for this girl, and even as you're giving them sanitary towels, men need to be here. Their parents, their fathers need to be here so that they get to understand, if this girl has started her period, how should I assist her as a father? as a mother, what support should I give her? So I think there's also a gap in the training and also the enlightenment about how we need to do about this, as in to elimination aje, because you hear that the men that are here unasikia mtu anasema I think, I don't understand, I don't see, our understand because hawajapatiwa hiyo platform ya kuwa educated in regards to menstrual hygiene. So for me, I believe that if there's a he, there's a she. There's no he without a she. So hii kitu ikwe like for all of us, for both the men and the women, the girls and the boys, so that it becomes a program for everyone. Na kama it's a challenge for a girl, when the man is around her, she will get that moral support and emotional support, because there are girls that are going through traumatic menstrual experiences. They are going through challenges when they are on their menses, and the reason is because they have not been given the platform to open up and speak, because the people that are around them are not giving them that moral support and emotional support. So for me, nasema men also need to be empowered and educated on menstrual hygiene, because this is a human issue, not just a girl's issue. Ndio maana kwa menstruation it starts with men menstruation. So the men are also part of this process. Yes.
Thank you,
Thank you
Joyce.
so much. So to briefly explain what happens, because sometimes we think that periods is just the 7 days or the 5 days when the bleeding happens. It starts way earlier. So like it takes 28 days for another period to start. So what happens in between is that there's ovulation, and ovulation happens between 12 to 16 days before your first period begins. And this is the time when an egg is released to and starts moving towards the fallopian tube. And some ladies experience a lot of pain during this time, like during the ovulation time, even for their days when they bleed and actually get cramps. So they get a lot of pain during this time. That's like maybe 12 days before her periods. And that's why we don't, I believe periods take up to 3 weeks, because the first week is when now you're experiencing pain.
Yes.
A lot of things are happening in your body. It's like you're anxious, you are pissed with everyone. Sometimes you are sad, and that is because like now when the egg is being released, a lot of hormones that mess with our emotions come through. And then now there's that week when we go through now the bleeding. And that's when the uterus wall crashes, because the egg which was released was not fertilized. And by being released was not fertilized, I mean maybe you had safe sex, or you didn't have sex at all. So there was no sperm that met the egg to form a baby. So the walls that were created for the baby crashed down, and that is what brings out the blood. And that's as that happens, there's a lot of pain. Now that's when you experience cramping. And for some ladies, it's mild. For others, it's very painful. And for others, it's very extreme. And this might be caused by endometriosis. If you know about it, it's a tissue that is found on the fallopian tube. This causes a lot of pain, and some of these women even faint during their cramping. Like it's painful, they can't even lift their legs, they have to stay in bed, and that is what endometriosis causes. And so these ladies have to go to the hospital because their cramping is extra. And yeah, so after that week, there's the last week now, which is called the recovery week, when your hormones are now going back to place and you're actually starting to feel more of a human than a monster that you were like the past 2 weeks. Yes, so I think there's a little bit more insight to what happens to you guys. Any question?
Any question?
I just want to add about the premenstrual, like before your period, like there are these symptoms that women get. They vary among different women, but some of them are like the irritability, the mood swings, women get breast tenderness, like you actually feel pain in your boobs. Some get headaches. What did I say? Yeah, headaches. Some actually already start getting the abdominal pain and back pain. So this happens before and during. For some people, it doesn't happen that much before their periods. So that's why maybe, like Mike was saying, someone is moody, irritable, doesn't want to be talked to. So these are the things that happen. It's because it's just before the period, and then we're having a lot of hormonal changes which cause all these symptoms. Then this lining, the uterus lining is getting ready to shed. So it's starting to, there's a lot of discomfort that begins at that time. Yeah, so I wanted to add that.
Yes.
So we'll move on to the next question, which is goes on to the ladies actually. Yes. We have a question.
Okay. Have you ever been in a situation where you cannot find pads when you need them? And what did you do? I'll give an example. There was a time I was in the office and they started, so I had to ask some of my work colleagues who are female, like Proline, if they had them. So what did you do in your position? Yeah.
Well, I can say mine. Well, I've been in a position where I totally didn't have a sanitary towel, and this is not just well, apart from just not, there's you being able to have a sanitary towel, but not having it at the moment or where you are. Then there's you not having sanitary towel at all, like you can't afford it, like you cannot have it at all. So me, I'm saying no, you can't afford it. I feel like I've been buying I can borrow, but I already had the sanitary towel, you get, so I'll borrow it from someone and they'll give it to me. But now I'm talking about this other side of you not being able to totally afford a sanitary towel. And personally, I have been there. That's why I really I really appreciate groups that come to schools to just give mentorship program and just talk to girls and encourage them. So the first sanitary towel I got, nilipata from shule, and the sanitary towel that we were given, oh my goodness, this is the most. Do you know the sanitary towels ambazo mnapewa, and then after you've used it, now you can wash it and then use it again?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So that is the first sanitary towel I was given in school. And by the time I was being given that sanitary towel, I didn't know how to use it. So it was foreign to me when it was introduced and when you were told this is how to use it. And after you've used it, then you can wash it, then anika it, then use it again. So I was like, so I am going to use it, then wash it again, then use it again. It was still foreign to me, but until I realized that I couldn't afford a sanitary towel and that I didn't have an option or I didn't have any other way to get a sanitary towel. And though this new procedure of using a sanitary towel and washing it at the same time, I think for the girls will understand, it is hard for you to use a sanitary towel and then wash it again. That is the most, well, to me, it is the most difficult thing that I can do. So I had to learn how to use that sanitary towel. I had to learn how to use it and wash it at the same time. I didn't have, anyone to give me a sanitary towel, or I couldn't afford a sanitary towel during that time. So I had to learn how to use the one ya kutumia ya kuosha. I had to use it. I remember, if I can remember clearly, I think I used that sanitary towel for like 4 months or 6. Because we were given a packet, and the people who were giving the sanitary towel out in schools, they only came once. And back then, there was just not so much conversation around menstruation. People were not giving out sanitary towels for free. Zimeanza tu just the other day wakati watu wako like, hey, okay, so this thing is serious. So I kind of feel like mine was because I didn't have an option. So I had to use whatever I had. But yes, I have been in a situation where I can't afford a sanitary towel or I can't just have it. And it's the most devastating situation ever.
Yeah. So has anyone ever experienced this quack in the crowd? Yeah.
Yes, I have experienced not having a sanitary towel.
Uh-huh.
And I was in the office.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in an office that was full of men.
Wow. Uh-huh.
And I was working in town. So imagine the discomfort whereby I had to go, and my office was on 8th floor, right?
Wow. Uh-huh.
So I had to, then when I leave the office and I went to like the lift, guess what? The lifts were not working. Both of them, two on both sides, they were not working. I'm like, God, really?
Okay.
So I had to walk down, and I was in heels. Slay Queen. I had to walk down a fleet of, since from 8th floor till ground floor, go to Tuskies. Then when you buy pads, definitely the guy on the person on the till is a guy. He wants to put it in a magazine. He wants to put it in a box. He wants to put it in the clouds. He wants to put it in a kibeti. I'm like, just give me the pads. As in, I think by the time you are old enough to work at a till, you have encountered a woman who has periods,
Right.
But he's like, madam, tukufungie. I'm like, usinifungie nipatie. Ati hapana. He wanted to put it everywhere apart from my hands. And I felt so bad for myself.
Wow. Okay.
So I picked my pads. Again, I went with my heels. Right now I'm dripping. See ati imeacha kwa sababu ati sina pads. No, my body is doing its thing.
It's still going on.
Wow.
It's still going on. So by the time I get to the loo, my underwear is wet. And one thing most guys, you don't, when you're in your periods, you just can't put on underwear. You have to put on underwear and something extra because it might fall. This thing.
Wow. That's wow. From a guy's view, that is insane. And I think what people actually don't remember is that this is a biological a biological process, right? You cannot stop it. You cannot sijui dunga yourself madawa or whatever. It has to happen. It's like breathing, right? And the fact that you say that it's a woman who's like throwing all these manenos vile nafikiria atakupakia aje, it shows that there's a form of way people view pads out there with that has no pride, right? Ni kama CD, right? Ni kama watu kenda kubai CD huko nje. Always enda unue CD unasema ati nipe keys ama trust,
I think
have
Mike,
some code language.
I think, Mike, it's actually different because when you go to buy CD sometimes, and don't look at me like that, Frolin. Sometimes the guy is like, when you mwanamme, you're going to get it. You're gassed up when you're going to buy CD. As much as it's uncomfortable, it's not as uncomfortable as when you're going to buy periods. People look at you like, look at this one leaking. It's like it's like I'm a faulty tap.
What is going on?
It's like I'm a faulty tap that needs a plumber to fix now so that I should stop. I'm just like, yo.
Wow.
So as in, like, when it comes to matters menstruation, we need the whole society. We need men.
Yes.
We very much need men to understand, because then it's not a blanket. Some people think, okay, when I'm cursing at work, it's not because I'm on my period. No, I am cursing because I need to curse. So that's another thing that happens. So it's like what, 17th?
Just cover up.
Yes, right. It's 17th, and I'm not even rolling on 17th. Then a man is like, so mega periods, I will slap you again, and I will slap you. That's another thing you guys need to stop.
It's that way, right?
Yeah, I don't get mad when I'm on my period. But if you now tell me, now I'll show you mad, because now I'm not mad. But then since you want mad, I will give you mad.
So interesting, guys. So imagine that's Mukanda, one girl, but imagine over 65% of girls in rural areas, not to mention even the urban areas, have trouble accessing pads or even cannot afford pads. So this happens to almost 65% of girls out there. Another thing is that the way people are shy to talk about it, or there's some shame that comes with this, there's also 80% of girls out there who don't feel comfortable talking about their menses with either their partners, their parents. I mean, I'm curious to know who gave you like the first talk about this. I mean, Asha said her mom, after she was actually experiencing the near death moment, is when the mom actually found time to actually talk to her about this. I'm interested to know, was anyone here, boy, dude, guy, or girl, did anyone ever sit you down in class, at home, to actually tell you that this is menstruation, and or if it's a girl, this is going to happen to you when it reaches the time, right? Because at school ni kucover lessons tunakwanga tumecover, especially science, right? Unaambiwa it happens 9 years to 50. These things are fluctuating. There's no one person who has the same timing as the other person. So it can happen at 9, 12, whatever, but the textbook will tell you 9. Does anyone ever sit you down and tell you, this is going to happen, my child, so don't be scared, nini nini? Has anyone ever gotten that talk?
You see, just the same way some of the textbook will tell you 9. When I was in primary, I thought periods would always happen end month. So journey after 28 days.
Kama mshahara.
They come at the 28 na 27, and then now there are people who, like, I had irregular periods. So
Yes.
this month ni date 1, next month ni 15th, hiyo ingine ni 27. As in, it doesn't, like, for me, I might menstruate the first week and Claudine menstruate the last week. The other one will menstruate midweek. Like, there's
And also sometimes when it you can, as a person or as a lady, you can menstruate the first week, and then next month ipotee, then uko like umeenda wapi, you get worried, and then boom, inakuja the last month. So yeah, it's something that but personally, I regarding your question, Mike, personally, I would be lying if I say that I have been, like, someone took my hand and sat me down and just took me through menstruation. Apart from ile syllabus, mi nakwambia ni ile syllabus ndo niko nayo. Alafu sasa growing up, or just as years pass, so you start now understanding what menstruation really is, and now that is when you get the urge, or that's when you realize that this is something that you need to understand, to have the more knowledge about, so that, because it's not something small, it's something huge. Apart from just going through your menses, there's so many things that as a woman you go through during your menstruation.
Mike, regarding your question, me the first time I had my periods, I was 13, and my mother gave me pads and told me enda kwa bafu uvae. So I'm just like, okay, naenda kwa bafu navaa nini? Kwa sababu gani?
And how? Yeah.
And how?
Wow.
So I think she noticed. Then she came. So she brought me like fresh undies. Then she showed me how to put it on. Aside from that, because of the schools I had gone to, we had been shown by Always. They always visit schools. So it had been shown. So she came. She took the iPad, fixed it on my undies, then akanivalisha. You see, now I'm 13 and I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, mbona navalisha panty at 13? Like, what the hell, mom? What is this? But I'm so grateful for that, because when I grew up and I went to high school, the stories around menstruation that I had were so horrific. And I'm like, what the hell? Because, we stem from different backgrounds, financially and even culturally, so much that when not every parent could have what I had, could show their kids that, to some it's shameful. Like, why are you leaking?
Wow.
Yeah, you see such stuff. Then Prolin has mentioned Ati, Pia mi nilikuwa najua period zangu za kuja mwisho wa mwezi kama mshahara. Unajua nilikuwa najua end month 30th ndio hizo zinakuja. So when I started having my periods on 5th, I'm like, Mom, they're here on 5th. Mom, this is not supposed. And my mom was just like, no, you see now your 28 days, see come as a calendar that you 1, 2, 3, it's different. Then I had to learn the calendar, which is something we don't speak about during menstruation. But zilikuja tarehe 5, imagine, na mimi najua zinakuja tarehe 30. It was menstruation.
And actually, that's another thing. That's also another thing. Learning your calendar. Menstruation is like going back to school, sitting down and learning things about yourself again. Like having to, personally, I feel like wakati my menses zilianza kukua, zikaanza kuruka, the dates zinaruka kama ilikuwa inakuja tarehe 17, inaanza kukuja on 22nd or 24th. Now I had to download an app on my phone so that I can track it down. So there's an app called Flow. It's a very good app. I feel like this is an app that a husband and a wife should have with the phone, just to understand the menstruation process, or just to understand the person that you live in the house with, how the menstruation goes like.
Wow. Okay. So it seems I don't wanna wrap this up saying that
Haro has something to say.
Yes.
Haro has something to say.
All right. Yeah.
And Ivy.
So either of you can start.
Yeah, so I wanted to say that for me, I feel like menstruation in Kenya, just in Kenya, is like it's something in secret. Even for us girls, like we don't really understand what's happening. It just comes that once you're a tit, then you actually know, okay, you see by what's happening to you, that's how you get to learn, or you actually go like maybe Google and check on something like what you need to know about what's happening. Because at times most of our parents, like for me, I wasn't told anything. I even can't remember my first experience. I don't know what happened, but I wasn't told by anyone that this is how you should be doing, this is what you should do. And you find that even those people, especially those who get when they're in high school, in schools, you find that so many things happen. They don't know the hygiene, they don't know how to dispose them. So you find different places, you find them disposed in various places which are not really hygiene, because they were never taught. They're just taught that this will happen, but they don't know how to handle it. So it's not only for the men, but also for the girls. They need to understand that this is something that happens, and it's something that it's not secretive. It's not something that I should be hiding and I should be like afraid or feel like it's something bad happening to me. So even it starts with us, because how we handle it is how everyone else will see and handle it. So it all starts with us getting to know and just educate other people, because even for us, we seem that we are in the dark. So,
wow. That is interesting. And as I think the next person who wanted to speak was Ivy.
Yes.
If I'm not wrong, as she answers to that, I think she can also respond to what do you think are our because of time, yeah. What do you think should be the role of other women, to other women when it comes to menstrual hygiene and support, right? So you can also be answering to that. Welcome, Ivy.
Thank you. I think for me, I wanted to add in the conversation about using the app.
Yeah.
I've learned so much about my body using an app. The app personally that I use is made by women. I started using it, I think, last year. And since I started using it, I can tell when my days are about to be emotional, when my PMS is about to be. So I understand what's happening in my body, because sometimes you find you have high highs and you have low lows. So you're like, oh, what's happening? And then when I open my app, I'm like, oh, okay. So this conversation we're talking about, we're learning our bodies. I think for me, I'm learning. I'm still learning. I didn't learn much when my period started, because the only conversation that I got was from school. But now as an adult with Google, with applications, like there's so much information that I'm sinking in, and I'm just learning about my body each day. And I think for us as women, the role that we play to other women, of course, is educating other women. You know, you can assume that, let's say Proline knows something about menses, but then you'll mention one thing and she'll be like,
Yeah,
that's what happens. And I think even on top of that, I don't know whether anyone followed the conversation about Always. The Always campaign, and people were sharing their experiences about using Always pads, getting sores, getting itchy.
yes, oh, I saw that.
And I was looking at that conversation, and it's not a conversation that would have been had 10 years ago, because no one would want to say anything. But now you're seeing online, you are seeing so many people's experiences, because personally, if it happened 10 years ago, you're probably thinking, oh my God, did I have an STD? But then now you find out that there's actually something wrong with the pad that you are using.
Wow.
So I think our role as women is just keep having these conversations. Someone could be suffering in silence, but once you share your story, you find out that, oh my God, it's not an STD. There's something wrong maybe with the pads. But yeah.
Right.
Yes, and to add upon at what Ivy has said, I feel like there's something that we need to also mention, that just when talking about menstrual hygiene, there's also this part of where you need to understand the sanitary towels brands to use, the perfect, like the good brands to use. Because right now, Ivy mentions about the Always campaign, and now I'm just realizing, so I have been getting rashes. Now I love that it's because nachomwa, because sometimes, it's because unachomwa because umejifunika sana or umevaa sana. Kumbe it's not because of that. It's because the brand that you're using is not right, or it's not perfect for your body. So it is also a very good thing if we can also just understand the good brands to use. Leo wacha kama umekuwa ukitumia Always, just ingia leo to the shop and ask leo mko na brands gani, and why should I use this brand? Don't just go around picking brands and putting in the bag, and or putting just collecting them, unarusha kwa nini trolley, unapeleka huko mbele unauziwa vitu mbaya.
Wow, I think there's a whole lot of dynamics when it comes to conversations that people should be having in terms of, periods and products that you're supposed to use and how well they go with your body. And I would really, really like to hear from the guests here. What do you think, like the question I asked, what do you think are the roles for women? And now let's include even men. What do you think that the role of men and women should be in terms of menstrual hygiene? To kick it off, I will confess that most men are just sometimes it's just moving by guessing and ignorance sometimes, right? Because we don't feel like we have the right to be talking about it. And I personally feel better when she comes to me with that conversation. I actually feel easier easing into the conversation. So I think we should, us as men, should pay close attention and actually be willing to ask if they need anything, if you can do anything, or just to talk about it, because talking also helps. So anyone else can give their thoughts on what they think are the roles for of men and women when it comes to menstruation. Yeah, guys, I mean, this is where we find solutions. This is where we get to know what to be done next. So
we have so many people in the room. We have Candy, we have Lucy, we have Nancy.
I would like to hear from people like Nancy Nduta, Jafet, Gashomba. I mean, do not feel like you are enclosed. This is where the conversation becomes free, because if it's not free here, we can't expect it to be free at home, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so people. Yeah, just remember to use the Kalift hand. There's a raise your hand hapo chini in case you forgot. And we'll be happy to listen to your contribution.
And also, just because before we move on, Jafet has a question, but before or has something to say. But before we move on to Jafet, just to remind you guys, we are live right now on YouTube, and we've shared the link on the chat. Just in case if there's someone who's finding it hard to join the conversation, you can share the link with them.
Yeah, and also we have a live website. We'll share the link on the chat right now.
Yes.
So you can check on the different girls we have visited and our plan and where we started. Yeah, so we go to Jafet.
Awesome. Jafet, my man, hi.
Hello.
Hello, man.
So, in regards to your question, I think so the one that you answered before,
right?
The one that you asked before. It's not really done whereby the parents or the guardians or the person who is in control of you, someone who is experienced at that, will not come and teach you not unless you go through it. Unajua hivyo ndio inakuanga kama venye sijui ni nani amesema that ukiwa as in when you're in the situation, that's when you get to know what the heck is this, what is happening. And outside the textbook, you don't find people like unaona kama like in the States, a little bit like in the States, being black, you have to talk to your boy, and you tell a man you have to talk with your boy. You have to, whenever the police come, to like raise up your hands, you go down on your knees, you don't talk too much, something like that. Like wanaambiangwa way before hata anything happens. See, unasikia, your child was shot just because he ran. He didn't have the right information that, just simama, ongea vizuri, inua mikono juu, just follow orders. So basically, I think it's a team effort whereby we need to like even talk to them even before they come to that pubescent age of shedding the endometrial wall and all this menstruation thing. Even before that, wakuwe na knowledge and know how this thing can come, and it can come at any time, and these are the options that I have, that I can alleviate this problem with this thing, with this solution. And funny enough, let me share a story. There is this cousin of mine, alikuwa class 6, it was her first time, and so watu wenye wamesomea shule za CDF, si mnajua hizi nini desk za benches za watu watatu.
Lazima ungesema nini shule za CDF, wewe unajua kuna watu zimesaidia. Mbona unatuanika?
So basically, so she got to have her first time, and it was yani ilikuwa inaonekana hadi kwa dress. It was so bad for her. Yani ilikuwa hadi ile extent angejaribu kuambia watu nimekalia juu scholar, and she really doesn't have any know-how of now what am I going to do. And I'd really like to thank the teachers that were there. By that time, I think so I was in class 6 and she was in class 7. And the teachers that were there, walikuja na leso, wakamtoa hapo, wakamwelezea, and the whole class was explained to what was happening. And there was no this thing of like segregating someone just because something like that happens. And that's something that happens in Kenya, that if you do not understand something, unaona nika kitu ya it's something alienish. It's something which is diabolical, man. Like wewe ni mchawi, hii ni nini unatuletea hapa? So basically, to conclude, I'd say it's a team effort thing. We all need to come up and talk to to all of them. If it's the young girls, you tell them it's this and this, and hata hiyo kitambo yenye wanasema in the 90s wasichana walikuwa wanapelekwa kando. I think so this time round wanafaa kuletwa wote pamoja, ndo hata the boys wana understand. Now you have a sister who is going through this, I can help her like this,
and exactly know how to treat her during that meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you very much. And big up to all the dudes who are here. Me, by the way, I'm proud of you guys, because this is a conversation that men shy from. So hata kama you are 2 or 3, thank you for showing up, because this is how it starts. Anyone else with quickly because of time to share what they think?
Ivy's hand is up.
Ivy's hand is up.
Yes. Okay, Ivy.
I just wanted to add in regards to what role men can play.
Yes.
I think if you're a man who's like the age of Mike and whoever is on this live, what you have to do is at least be proactive. Google is free. You can learn about menses there, as well as if you have women around you, like Mike said, talk to them, engage them and learn more about it. And I think also if you have, for anyone who's partnered here with a woman and it's that time of the month for her, like, be kind. You can even just go to the store, get her what she needs.
Chocolates.
Contrary to popular belief, not all of us like chocolate.
Some of us love cake.
Ivy, thank you.
You'll find someone.
Ivy, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell them loudly. We don't want money, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Money.
You will learn what she likes during that time. So just when it's during that time of the month, just be kind to her and help her how she can be helped. And don't ask ignorant questions.
That's so true.
Oh my God. Like, I think on ignorant questions I can comment. Someone once asked me, so now when you go to the washroom, you have to remove the tampon, then you pee, then again you put it back in. And I'm just like, someone's son.
Oh, okay.
Jafet,
we have to use
mentioned
Google.
something about there's someone who's Nancy Nduta. Your hand is up.
Nduta, welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Nancy.
I wanted to add that the men should also go to various schools and talk to boys about what menstruation is, because like when the primary school I was in, well, my mom gave me this talk when I was like in class 5, but there are friends I had that did not know what menses were. So whenever a girl could started her menses in our class, the boys used to like look at her badly. Then they would like be like, "Oh, she just messed on herself. What's this? Why does she have blood?"
Yeah.
And I was the one who always went and helped them. So I think even the boys should know about what menses are.
Right. That is a very interesting note to take. Very quickly, if anyone else has a quick comment. Esther and Joyce. Maybe you can tell us what's on your mind quickly as we move on.
Okay, I just wanted to add on to Nancy's point. I think for any parents in the house, I don't know if we have any parents in the house, but when you're talking to your daughters, I think it's good to also talk to your sons and just teach them about how different girls and boys are, to respect girls as well, because I think for me, the mockery that used to come with periods and the boys in the class, I think it was also born out of ignorance. I don't want to say they were just being mean or anything, but I think they just didn't know what was happening. And I feel like if they knew, they would be more supportive. Yes, I think we need to stop isolating men and women issues that like these, very diverse things, yet they affect, like for you, Mike, it affects you when your girlfriend is on her period and she's having PMS or whatever. Or maybe, there are also issues like infertility, which people don't talk about. Some people don't get their menses ever. Some people get them and then they disappear. These are things that men don't know. So that even when you're getting married or you guys are trying to have kids, you really don't really understand. Like it should concern you, or you should actually know my girlfriend's or my wife's cycle is regular or irregular, or she has endometriosis. I know some people had never even heard of that. Or she has, she has ovarian. There's something called PCOS. There's so many issues
Right.
In, and we see these issues affect men as well. They don't just affect women. If you're marrying a girl who has some infertility issues or whatever it is, it's important as well for you to know, even if you're not marrying her, it's your mom, it's your sister, it's your daughter, you know, it's important. So what I'm just saying is, I think as society, we really need to kill the ignorance. We need to just come together and understand these issues for both sides. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Just to add on that, I think when we include the men, it would help lessen period shaming, because the whole idea of period shaming comes in when first it's treated as a taboo, second, men are not included in the conversation, and those are the things that make, like, I remember some time back, those I think 2015 or 2016,
yes,
there was a girl who killed herself because the teacher actually shamed her in class for menstruating, and you know, these things happen. We need to accept that menstruation is a natural occurrence to a lady, and you don't have to close or shut the doors to men. It's a taboo. You need to stay. I remember there are some people back rural areas. They do not access bags, so they have to sit under a tree for 7 days until their blood dries. So they don't have to go, they can't go to class because of whatever they are going through. And it's because they one, lack periods, two, also there has been a lot of shaming, so they also can't go home, they have to stay there. Like where Kambali, you're being isolated because you're on your periods. So I appreciate the conversation we're having today. Let's be pioneers of this conversation and keep educating other people so that we don't treat it as a taboo, but as a natural occurrence.
There's something that I want to just to add up on what Asha amesema about period shaming. I actually have questions, like 3 questions on period shaming. Question number 1, have you ever experienced period shaming? That is to our ladies, Sisi. And then question number 2, why do you think period shaming happens? And then question number 3, what do you think would improve the situation and ultimately end period shaming?
Yeah, I can start. I have ever gone through period shaming, and that's because I soiled my dress.
Yes.
You know, that's what happens sometimes when it happens. Then
yeah,
the thing is, whoever was actually looking at me discriminatively is a woman, and I was like, yo, you're my auntie. Like, you have been through this before, so why are you acting like it's not something that occurs, you know? And I'm like, as a woman, you should actually be the one telling me, or actually getting me to a safer place and covering me. But now you're the one shaming me, and it was so, I think I just became so locked. And you know, when you're on your periods, your emotions are everywhere. So now I was actually shouting at her, and she's very old. She's very old. And I actually invited her to this discussion that had a join because iliniuma. And I learned that these things happen. Na sikue one of the people who is pioneering period shaming. Yes.
Well, personally, period shaming may happen kwangu, but by the time ilikuwa inanihapenia, nilikuwa nishakuwa this bold this Proline that you say something and I'm like, where? Careful. So by the time your period shaming ilikuwa inafanyika, I was already in class 4. Yeah, I was already in class 4 and I had this kacheo in school. So nilikuwa like, don't say anything. But then I was not afraid. Well, I was shamed about it. But personally, to me, I didn't feel bad about it because I already had knowledge on menstruation. And these are things that happen. And then also, for you to be period shame, it's not something that you want to happen, for it to happen to you. It's something that just happens. Unatembea, then kidogo unasikia, mayo, it has happened. So, yeah.
It feels so embarrassing because now you keep on walking, looking at your dress, or having someone, and like it's, you know.
Personally, I've never really witnessed an oops moment from any girl in my class or where generally my surroundings. So I'm not really I don't know how it happens, how many girls have been period shamed in the house, but I hear it's serious. I think Mukanda gave her experience and how she was being teased, you know. And honestly, Ivy has something to say, but before she says it, honestly, I think the lack of information is what leads people to behaving the way they behave. And what I've heard here is that both men and women, really need to invest in terms of information and how they give either the younger ones information or themselves information, so that when something comes across like this, you can know how well to treat it. Ivy.
I wanted to add on the period shaming. Personally, I haven't been shamed for soiling myself, but I've been shamed for the pain that I felt, like my cramps. And it was by other women. They were just like, that's small pain. That's why you want to take medicine. Da, 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 da. So period shaming can come in all forms.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Interesting how also
Yeah.
other women play a part in this, right?
I want someone to, I would love if I could get an answer for this, for the number 3 question. What do you think would improve the situation and ultimately end period shaming? Because like Asha just said before, period shaming is something that it happens and it has consequences. And the consequences of period shaming haziendi kwa mtu ambaye ameko period shame. Instead they go to you, because the girl who committed suicide because she was period shamed, she got period shamed in school by a teacher. Someone that, like, these are institutions that we've trusted, a lady teacher actually. These are institutions that we've trusted with our girls or with our kids, for them to nurture them or to just give them knowledge around things that parents or us ourselves don't understand, because they've gone to school so that they can do this job. But now you see it becomes a different story when the same institution that you take your kid to or your girl to is the same institution that like murders her or just takes her life knowingly, because you can't tell me that a teacher doesn't know that period shaming is wrong. I mean,
I think what can happen to tackle period shaming is that people need to understand that periods, just like mucus, just like saliva, it comes from the body. The same way you can have tears is the same way periods come. As in, it is just a fluid that comes from the body, like earwax.
Like,
like earwax, like sweat. As in, when you're talking about all these things that can come out of the body, we have to mention period blood. So we have to ensure that the conversations around periods start with it is natural. It's like the most natural thing. That is one. Two, the information needs to be disseminated everywhere, and people need to understand that, as in, there's nothing I can do. Like, there's literally nothing I can do. That is one. Then the adverts we are having, they should stop pouring that blue thing. Get a red, what is this called? Get a red fluid. As in, because just the fact that they're using a blue thing, it's like, now it's not blood. It's like blood is a bad thing. Just that it sends that subliminal message that, oh no, it should, always context. Get a red fluid. So people should know that it is a red fluid that comes out. So I think when people are talking, then also at work, people should talk about periods at work. Your boss should know that you can have periods and you need a day off. At school, teachers need to understand, because I think what I saw in school when girls were on their periods was stupid. As in, someone is crying, a girl is in pain, then mwalimu ako tu, wewe pekee ndio kwani wewe ndio wa kwanza kupata periods. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now?
kwanza kwenda kuzaa.
Wewe na hata bado hujazaa. I'm like, yes, bado sijazaa, lakini for now I'm on my period and it's painful. So I think when we're talking about periods, it needs to be hammered to everyone that it is normal. Like tears, like mucus, like saliva, period blood is normal. Thank
and
you.
it's human.
Yeah, just to add on what Ivy is saying, I also think that people should, as in for girls and women, menstruation is something of pride. So you should menstruate with pride. You should not be ashamed of that activity. And also, kama venye Mike amesema, that is a biological process. There's nothing you can do about it. So the moment you are proud of yourself, because one thing we all know is that when you're not menstruating and you should, and maybe you're sexually active, then it means you're pregnant. So even for every girl, they should know that when they
Or you actually have a problem, not just pregnancy, like you
Yeah.
have a problem when you're not menstruating.
Yes. Yeah, so for every girl, even as we're doing the mentorship, we always tell them that the moment you start menstruating, it means your body is mature and you can carry a baby in your womb. You have to tell them that so that they get to understand their body has really matured for sure. And also for men, like Mike was asking, what should we do as a community as a whole? Ensure that you're not part of the shaming. You encourage the young girls that are going through the process, and also you help them transition from childhood to adulthood, because you realize some of the women in our community are the ones that are discouraging these young girls. And that is why even now you realize there's a mother that does not know that her girl has started to menstruate. Unless when the kwao you find a mattress that has a hole and you know that this girl does not have pads, what she's using is either the clothes or the mattress. So it is important when you do sensitization to the community as a whole, because like I have said, this is a human issue, it's not a woman issue.
Yes.
And all humans should be engaged in this process, so that na isikuwe ni kama if a girl has started periods, she's like excommunicated or an alien, you know. In fact, she should know that she's important and she's productive. That is a beautiful process. So for me now, everyone should be engaged in the enlightenment about this whole process. Yeah, and no girl should be ashamed. And also that also when we are doing this facilitation, we should ensure that no girl is exchanging sex for sanitary towel, because also that is something in a trend sana. Najua maboy wako like come through some of the men, not those that are here. So also no girl should exchange sex for sanitary towel. Tafadhali. Let us try to advocate, and I'm happy for what your program is doing, because the moment nimeona kina Mike wanakuja kwa ground, kama like one of the ladies that said, the girls are really excited and they're like, wow. And what the men are saying, they listen more even than what the ladies are saying,
What the
because they're
ladies
like
actually
a different.
Yeah.
Ako like, wow, wako hapa, and they will listen even more. Sasa itasaidia kusensitive community, you know. So more men should come on board and ensure that this menstrual issue is for all of us, to all of us, so that we support every young person out there. Thank
Wow.
you.
Wow, amazing, Joyce. I think that's an awesome message, and Candy has something to say. Candy?
Yes.
So I just want to add, or maybe just echo what Mukanda was saying about making these conversations normal about periods. So talking about it is one thing, and being practical about it is another. I feel like there should be points where in organizations and other institutions where they should be putting sanitary towels. For example, I'll give you a little story. I was at the office when my period started, and I didn't have pads. And you know what I did? I'd been sent by one of my bosses to the car, go get, I think, a file or something. So mi nikaenda huko, mi didn't know my knees were starting. So nikaenda kwa gari nikarudi, then kwenda lu mambo ndo hayo basi amanza. I had to go. I had to go and tell my boss nimesahau kitu kwa gari anisaidie key, because I saw pads there. So I went for those pads there. So imagine if you didn't have pads.
You took pads from your boss's car?
Yes, Mother, I did. Na sikusema baby. I didn't steal. I just took them without his permission.
Ati kaende.
Kama mbaya. So I took it. Nikasema, we need to normalize carrying around pads, even if you're not using, because huwezi jua nani anaweza hitaji. So me, I always have pads with me. Hata kama I'm not rolling, I know someone else anaweza hitaji. So normalize carrying pads. Institutions also wanafaa kuwa na pads. Just the same way kama hostels za shule zinakuanga na points zimejazwa ma CD hapo. Kando kunafaa kuwe na za pads pia, you know.
Wow.
Yes, because sex is not even a
around.
need.
Yeah.
Sex is not a must.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to say.
Thanks, Candy. That is insightful. and vile ulifanya we ni OG.
Yeye ni yule msee.
Girls gotta do what a girl
I've done the same before. I've stolen before.
Wow.
I feel you. Yeah, I feel her.
Esther,
Yeah, so
and they
guys,
usually hold you high.
No,
So
like
even the pads-
honestly, guys, like when you're on your period and you cannot access pads, I don't know. Like for me, even when I was in high school, I actually never had enough pads ever. So I really suffered. And then because of the shame, I couldn't ask my friends, I couldn't ask anyone. But I didn't have enough money and I didn't have enough pads. And I had a heavy flow. So watch out. So there's a time I was on holiday and then I went to my mom's, our family friend, my mom's friend. So she would ask me, do you need anything? I can't even tell her I need pads. I can't. It was such a shameful thing. I don't know. But now her daughter was not around. So I was sleeping in her daughter's room and she had pads. So every day I would just take one. I try to stretch how long I use it. Then I take another one. I never asked her. So I have stolen and me, I don't judge. If you steal pads, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
yeah, so I'd like to welcome someone. I see there's Moses, Nganga, and Chiza. Chiza also is supposed to be our panelist. He was a bit late for very important reasons. Hawa ni watu wakubwa sana. So he was supposed to talk about to give an angle for men's perspective, because he and South Africa have also been engaged in initiatives to actually contribute pads to girls who cannot afford them. And I think if it's not too late, we can give him a chance to introduce himself, and maybe if he has a view on what he thinks men should do in society to make the issue about menstrual hygiene more, more accompanying to the situations that happen out there. Right? Welcome, Chiza.
Hi everyone, I'm Chiza.
Yeah.
Chiza from South Africa. I'm sorry I'm late. I was held up kidogo and technical issues. So I'm here. Now about menstrual hygiene,
yeah.
Most girls assume that men don't want to be engaged in it. And men kama mimi mwenyewe, I would like to know how I can help where my help is needed. First, madem wanatakanga kutu sideline, wanadhani it's a shame, but wanaume tuko pale tunataka kusikia, ndio angalau nikijua pia nitaweza kusaidia kwa njia yoyote ile, financially sometimes and also in sourcing out. So hii ni shida ambayo hata sisi wanawake wanafaa feel free to talk to men about it. Si ati it's a shame, it's not a shame. Nilipata wengine wanaficha hadi pads wakishanunua, wanaficha kwa mifuko. But it is something that mnafaa feel more pride in it, because hiyo inaonyesha how naitwaje,
mature.
Yes, how mature you are and how healthy you are, unajua. So na feel madem ndio wanaogopanga sana kutu engage sisi wanaume, but ikifika ile point yenye tunaweza kuwa engaged, inaweza saidia zaidi kuliko mtu akijinyamazia. Ukijinyamazia tena hauna, itakuwa shida ingine ambayo itakufanya wewe mwenyewe kuingia katika mambo ambayo hayahitajiki. Unajua wengi mostly na relate na watu wa slums. Nimeishi slums for let's say 25 years now. And hii ni shida ambayo nimeona iki-happen all the time. Ndio maana tukakama up na initiative ambayo tumekuwa tukisaidia girls in our community in acquiring pads and then how to sustain it. Because hatuwezi wapea tu leo, alafu kesho tuwanyime. Unaona?
Really?
So kitu yenye tumekuwa tukifanya ni we have around 2,500 girls that we are taking from February up to now. We're still giving them sanitary towels.
Right.
So now we are still hoping tutaendelea kufanya hivyo. Na
Yeah.
si ati unajua wengi wanadhania it's all about how heavy your pockets are.
Yes.
No, like, but kuna mtu mwenye unajua mwenye anaweza saidia mwenzako. Unajua. So that's why we as South African the partners tumekuwa tukisource out kutoka kwa watu tukileta kwa ground and then we distribute. So hatujai kosa kwa sababu watu wanajua hizi changamoto ziko. Na pia mostly ni wanaume wanachanga. Wanawake wengi watasema hawana pesa.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So mimi nasema kama wanaume vile ndio naendelea kusema wanaume wana support these issues. Ni vile wanawake hawataki kutuambia ni nini tunahitaji kufanya, ni nini tunafaa kufanya ili hii gap ikuwe filled up. That's my point saizi as I continue catching up. Thank you, Michael.
Awesome. And I think there's something he mentioned very, very well, and we have not mentioned, is that sometimes utapata unaona some of you have lifted pads, imebidi kuiba kidogo. What are other girls, the 65% tuko nje wanafanya nini? So most of them, or I think 13% of girls out there are actually trading sex for pads, right? Meaning this issue is serious. There's either not enough pads, or people don't really have the finance to sustain having pads. So I think what Chiza has said is really important also, because in as much as we also need to find the information for ourselves, also we need for you women and girls to actually provide that safe space that we can actually talk about this, right? I don't know if anyone has anything to say about that before we wrap this up.
Yeah, quickly, Mike, I'll just say that a lot of people have been advocating for taxes on sanitary products to be either reduced or removed, which would go such a long way, because then these products would be affordable for everyone. And then I know that when I was growing up, we were not taught about the other alternative sanitary products that are there, because we have tampons, we have menstrual cups, which I don't know if it's a new thing now or it was still there then. And we also have now the reusable pads, the ones that you can wash and reuse. At the time I was growing up, we did have those things. Like you had to buy pads, and I think they were 200 those days. It was really expensive.
Yeah.
But right now, like there are alternatives. So I think it would also be good to raise awareness about these alternative products that are less expensive, because like a menstrual cup is something, it's initially expensive, but you use it, I think, for, I don't know if it's 5 years or more. And then there's these reusable pads as well, so that you don't have to spend 150 every month. And if you have a heavy flow, it's 300 because you need 2 or 3 packs of pads, you know. So, and again, I also find tampons more economical, but now there's not much awareness about how to use them. Like even I don't know about how to use tampons at my big age, because I was never taught. Yeah, so I think also awareness. I'm seeing someone saying VAT taxes are removed on sanitary products, but they're still expensive. So how about just reduce the cost of pads? How about manufacture pads in Kenya also? You know, like just make it accessible for everyone. Yeah, because it's not a luxury item. It's actually very necessary.
Yeah.
Awesome, Esther. Thank you.
That, when Esther, you're saying the pads are not sustainable, it's what leads to girls wearing one pad for a very long time. Like you wear a pad for close to 8 hours. Even more than 8 hours. Because unapima juko na kidogo. Yeah, and that causes a lot of problems like UTIs. I don't know. These pads actually are for help, but then they also have downsides, and that is when you actually una prolong kuiva for 8 hours plus. and that is so uncomfortable. I remember John was saying he used to see people showering a lot of the times. It's because like when you have that pad on, you feel a lot of discomfort that you want to like go and take a shower, and just clean up. But then I believe if we provide enough pads to these girls in those areas, they'll be able to also maintain their hygiene because they'll have enough and not have to like prolong the time they're using their pads. So donate to us for her and we'll give them.
Yeah, just to mention something. You see, Blue Band is not a need. Unaweza kula mkate hivyo. Mkate is not a need. You don't have to eat bread. You even grow fat because of bread. Alcohol is just something else we don't need even. So when pads, I go to buy panty liners and I get what, 20 for 120. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Alafu Blue Band hapo ni 90 bob. It just does not make sense. It really does not make sense. Periods, I think nafaa tuzikuwe free everywhere for everyone. That is one. And two, we need to ensure that, like, let's say as for her and other organizations, the least you can do is just shipping. Literally the least you can do is, if you can buy Blue Band jam peanut seriously, paka Nutella, you can.
Yeah. Zote at the same time.
Na unazibuy zote at the same time. Hapana, you can really unaweza changia. So I don't know, as in when talking about menstruation, we just need we need to normalize menstruation. As in, ni menstruation. Ni kama sijui shida iko wapi. So me I've been tweeting, now I'm done. Are we wrapping up?
Yes,
ningependa kuongezea kitu.
Chiza, you have something to say?
Yeah, I wanted to say about kuna mbinu mingi za kutumia ili curb this menstrual hygiene, si ndio? Na kitu yenye ningependa kuongezea ni hii. Kuna mwenye amesema about cups na kuna mwenye amesema tampons, si ndio?
Yes.
So hizi zote zinahitajika na tunafaa kusensitize watu and teaching them how they can be helpful too. Yeah. But now tukiangalia kwa slums mostly using the reusable, it's not working because kuna wengine wanakuanga na heavy flow, and this heavy flow kuna wale wana feeling kinyaa like kushika, unajua kama uko na heavy then unaelewa vile iko
Yes.
So kushika sometimes hata kuosha itakuwa tatizo kwao. Wengine wanaangalia wanatupa kwa mitaro kwa sababu hakuna well sanitation for slums, most slums. Yes. Yeah? So wakitupa kwa mtaro inafanya kwingine kuna block, so hiyo inaleta image nyingine tofauti. Tukiangalia hizi vikombe kwa wasichana ambao wako na miaka midogo itakuwa ugumu kwao kuinsert, unajua, and being comfortable with it, it's something else. Wengine watafeel that pain, si kama mwanamke ambaye amepitisha miaka kadhaa kama tuseme 22 kuendelea, itaweza kuwa comfortable kwake. So naangalia ile yenye solution ambayo inaweza fit everybody. So I was thinking the other ones, the common ones, zinaweza tumika kote, but hizi reusable zinaweza tumika hadi manyumbani huko shago because that's where kuna maji. Unajua huko slums hakuna maji ya kuosha all the time, and then vile kuna manyumba zimeshikana, kuna wengine hata kuanika panties nje inakuanga tatizo. So una imagine umetoa yako unaosha unaanika, kama panty ni shida ama kupata maji ni shida. Kwa hivyo tuangalie zile options zenye tunaweza work nazo ili tusaidie kila mmoja, na tuangalie njia za kusustain. Tusiseme tu ni leo tunataka kuwasaidia because tumecome up na hii as for her. We need to come up with ways wenye tunaweza sustain this and tunaweza sustain for a long time, because tukiwapea leo, what about kesho?
Yes. Yeah.
Itabidi wamerudia kazi zile zenye wanafanya. Na in Mukuru people sell sex for pads. It's so painful, but I have many girls who I've talked to and they open up to tell me that what they are doing to get this. and some men will take advantage of it. So
Yeah.
ningependa sana sisi tusaidie pale tunaweza na tuangalie njia ya kustamili. Asante.
Thank you. Okay, guys. So we've had everything. We've had the conversation. So now, before we wrap up or before we wind up, we'll just want to like take you through Ask for Her, explain what Ask for Her program is, what we do, and why we are doing what we're doing, and also just show you guys our website, because we officially have a website. So we'll show you the website and like explain everything, what the website entails or what it will entail and what the work of the website will be, because we are planning to make the website the Kofi Annan, or the intermediate between us and you and the kids and all that. Yeah.
Just before you do that, to like put some oomph in the intro. So imagine we've throughout the conversation we've heard the problems about not being enough pads, people not affording pads, sparking conversations, and even the use of innovation to actually make this problem less okay, my words are disappearing, but to make it a little bit better than it is right now. So imagine if all this could be possible. Imagine if we could have a place with pads that are, you can access them anywhere, Mukanda, office, restaurant, Imagine if you had pads somewhere in your office that you wouldn't need any hassle to access, nor to steal, silazma, imagine if you could keep track, or you could contribute to girls out there who don't have pads and actually giving them pads every month. Imagine if technology could actually be used for the good of all this. That is why we have Ask for Her. So Asha and Prolene, take it away.
Yeah, you just said that, and I remembered we forgot to mention the disabled people in our community.
Yes.
Because we oftentimes forget them, and they also need sanitary towels. They also need these things. And I was going through like these public washrooms, and they do not accommodate disabled people. Like, for example, if I'm with a wheelchair, I won't be able to access that washroom.
Yes.
If I cannot open the door because zile mlango za kawaida, I won't be able to access the washroom. So it's a discussion that should be had so that we create accessible public washrooms for the disabled people. Also, that we are giving pads to people in low-income areas. We should also consider the disabled people and the people who live in the streets, because they also menstruate. So what do they use? Yeah, we should also consider those dynamics. Yes,
that's a good point.
So let's like just give you a brief something small to make you understand what.
I can't hear anything, guys.
Prolene, you're on mute.
Sorry. The way I've been blabbering. Almost said everything. It's like I already said everything. So Ask for Her is a program about taking the responsibilities as an individual, as you, or as Prolene, as Asha, or as Mukanda, as Chiza, as Joyce, just to acknowledge that not every girl out there can afford a sanitary towel.
Yeah.
So the whole Ask for Her thing started as a conversation between these amazing guys, Asha, Prolene, and Mike. We have a podcast called Baraza Hot Tea, where we talk about our everyday experiences, our everyday conversations. So the podcast came live during COVID because when COVID started, there was a lockdown, so we had to go back home and start working from home, and just adjusting your way around it. It's very hard. So for some of us who live, there are people who live alone. There are people who stay in the houses alone. So some had to adjust around working from home. And for me, it was very difficult. And I also feel like for us, for Asha and Mike, it was also the same thing, because that's why BHT started, so that we can keep track of ourselves and keep track of our friendship and our work and our conversations. So we created a BHT to just talk about every day, share our experiences, what we know, the research, share our knowledge, just anything, just talk about all the things that you want to talk about. So that is how As For Her came in between. So it was a conversation, we talked about it, and then we were like, why not do it? But before the podcast, we had already thought about it even before COVID came. We had an idea, but we were yet to put it down, of which when COVID came, it was bad, but kwetu ilikuja kama baraka, like manna from heaven. So we managed to come up with this initiative. So we aim to spread love and hopefully inspire fellow youth and humanity at large to start caring about everyone, as men, as women, as baba, as mamas. Just we need to start caring again, because so many things have happened. People have fought. We've become enemies to a point that tumesahau there's something called humanity. We've forgotten that the people, apart from just our families, there are also people that depend on us. There are people who look up to us. I'm sure there's like a little girl or like a little boy who've told you, hey, Manze, I'm very proud of you, or you are my role model. So that's something to, when a little girl tells you that, or when a little boy tells you that, that means that they've seen something new. They've seen what you're doing, or they've seen how you're expressing yourself, or how you're just working out on things, and they would love to be like you. And for them to be like you, then you have to hold their hands and walk with them and teach them what you know, share your experiences with them. So we thought, why not? So that's how As For Her comes. That's how As For Her came in, and that's how it started. It became a program and became this beautiful initiative where every month we sit down and we come up with a budget. We look at our pockets, tunaangalia how much do we have, and we also have people on board who are also supporting this thing. So we sit down, tunaangalia budget yetu ni pesa ngapi, how many girls can we support this month, and then we kick off. We go get sanitary towels, we call our guys on the ground. One person that we've been working with is Joyce, Miss Kibra from Kibera. Thank you so much. She's one of the most amazing people who've been really helping As For Her move forward, and also just get girls to donate sanitary towels too. So this is such an amazing initiative. This is something that you should be part of as a person. This is something that you should ask yourself when you wake up in the morning. What can I do to change the world? Well, of course, we can't change everyone and we can't change the whole world, but there's that little thing. There's a small thing that we can just add up to and just to spice things up and just bring about this thing where everyone sits together and we understand each other as individuals, and not just understanding each other and also understanding our roles in the society. Come on board, pick up your role. You don't have to come, you don't have to be part of it. You don't have to come. You just have to say that, guys, I am here and I want to be part of this. And this is how I want to be part of it. Or I think that as much as you guys are doing this, you can also do this and things. We need to work this thing out. But for us to work it out, we need to work it out on you by just listening to your ideas and your contribution. So Asha will take us through the website. We'll see how it looks, and then she will explain what the website is all about and what we're going to do with the website and what our stage 2 is. Then we will wrap up from there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think Proline just said it all. Yeah, and before I show you the website, I remember we had another event like this that was on something, a different topic, and one of the girls actually said that the pads were being delivered to the county, groups like us would come and donate pads,
Yes.
but they wouldn't get to the girls, as in zingepotelea katikati. And then we sort of wondered, how do we close this gap? Because if I am donating, I am donating for a purpose, and I'm donating to give this pad to someone. I do not want to donate and hizo pads zikae kwa nyumba.
Yes.
Like that's not my plan. The plan is to pay it forward so that if today I give this girl a pad and she gets money, she'll give it to someone else.
Yes.
Ama she doesn't finish all of it, she'll give it to someone else. Because that's the idea of a beautiful community. So as for her thought of being transparent, like Proline said, it's a like sort of a medium between you and us, you and the girls that are getting the pads. So with that, I will share our website. There. You can also look at it. It's usforhers.org.
Yeah.
And this girl was part of the last donation we did.
Yes.
And we were so happy.
We like the picture. So
yeah, she was so pretty.
I'm
Yeah,
very so happy.
Yeah, so can you actually see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, so we took some of their profiles and we had their names and their ages. So the whole idea is, if I want to, as Asha, I want to choose a girl that I will provide pads to, like for a whole year or like for 2 years plus, because the idea is not to give this girl a pad on January, you'll have to serve February.
Yeah.
The idea is to have them all with us as a family. So it's an open platform where you can actually say, I'm going to give, let's say, Brenda or Habiba, and then immediately they get the pads, then you'll actually get a message, and it's not like it's not a custom message from us. They actually write it themselves and say, we received it and thank you.
Thank you.
So that will show you how your donation has been used, because we plan on adding a pay bill here. So that's how we'll get your number. We will not use it for any other purpose than to thank you for being part of the family that's contributing at large. Yes, so these are just a few of our girls, but we have 150 girls so far. They are part of us. They are us for her family, and we are glad to be the people helping them. So then you can get to know more about our podcast here, and you can get in touch with us at any time. Send us an email, whatever we'll get back to you. You can ask us about the program. How can you join? How can you give help?
How can you also partner?
How can you partner?
That's also another thing.
Yeah, and how many girls have we helped? Do you plan? Can we join? Like, because the idea is to make you part of us, so that if we are visiting Kibera, we have been visiting Kibera for the past 3 months, and they're the 150 girls that we are actually with right now. So we want to involve you at large, like, because as it says, us for her. In short, to make we include bila consent yako. So pia wewe ni us. Yes, and so then from here you can get to see our podcasts, and because we have a podcast that just talks about us for her, that explains the initiative and how it started. You can get to see other podcasts because we also talk about mental health, how countries are dealing with Corona and other stuff. And feel free. The site is live. I have shared the link on the chat. You can also check it up on your phones. And yeah. Okay, yeah. And also, these are our handles. You can follow us on Facebook at Baraza Hot Tea, Twitter, Baraza Hot Tea, and Instagram, Baraza Hot Tea.
And we're very active. We're the
Very.
most active people ever.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is all about our website. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, so these are some of our podcasts. We have a series called In My Head, and this was because when Corona started, some of us
our heads were just in our mental health heads.
Yes, so it's an ongoing series. So if you have if you've been struggling with your mental health, just know you're not alone. And some of us are here to share our experiences and also gateways forward.
Yes.
Thank you. Any questions?
Any question, guys?
Hey, mnanisikia?
Yes.
Oh, it's a suggestion. I've not seen where people can donate from. Do you have a place where people can donate?
Yes, there has been a delay with
The pay bill.
bill, but immediately it's there to be on the site, and we'll communicate it on our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and to our personal contacts, including you, and tell you the pay bill is already up. Also, we are looking forward to produce a dispenser, and this will be put at accessible points. And the pads there, we are hoping they'll be for free. As much as we donate, we want to put the pads in there for free to help the girls in the streets, the girls that cannot afford, so that they really stop trading sex for pads.
Yeah.
Because that is not right, and that's why we are here to help them.
Now, are we only targeting Kenyan donation, or we want to grow big?
Oh, so I can I can answer that. We're actually targeting everyone, because we've also gotten people from not just from Kenya but also from other countries who say that they love the initiative and they really want to be part of it. So our audience, we're not choosing audience. Anyone can donate. Anyone, ata shosho, ata babu, ata guga. Anyone can donate.
Yes, and that's why we'll also have a PayPal.
Okay, that's what I was waiting for.
And also, if you also want to partner with us, because we're also partnering with the sanitary towel brands. We currently have brands on the table who wants to be part of us. We're yet to finish. We're still working on the website, but in a week or two, now all the info about As4Ha and our partnership, and also the people who donate will also be on that. And another thing with our website is this is the most interesting part about this website, and the reason why we created the website, or the reason why we thought of the website. We're not the only people donating or distributing sanitary towels to girls. There's so many groups doing that. There's so many organizations doing that. Even South Africa is doing that. Even Chile is doing the same thing. But the reason why we came up with this website is because it's not that there are no sanitary towels. They are sanitary towels, because the government gives sanitary towels zenye ambazo zinafaa kufikia the girls. But now the challenge comes in wakati these sanitary towels hazifiki on the ground. Like Asha told you, we were part of a meeting where a girl said that currently there's corona, and I think that's the reason why we also just decided to push As4Ha Itoke immediately when corona was going on, because there was so much things going on. People were donating food, people were doing programs, so many organizations were doing things to help the society, so many people were part of so many things, getting water, soap, kila kitu. Like people were doing so many things. But when it came to sanitary towels, we saw a very huge gap. Sanitary towels ziko lakini hazifiki wasichana ambao zinafaa kufikia. And that is why you get complaints, even hata kama gava zimepatiana sanitary towels, huwezi jua kama zimepatiana sanitary towels. So we don't want to follow up on the sanitary towels ambazo zimepatiana na gava, but instead we want to recruit family members. We want to recruit girls who will be part of As4Ha family, so that tutajua these are specific girls that we give sanitary towels to. Ndio mtu mwingine akilia mali pengine aseme ati hana sanitary towels for a girl, then we were like, mbona haujapata? Are you part of As4Ha program? So if you're not part of any other program or project or initiative, then you can be part of As4Ha. So As4Ha is just creating this group of now getting the girls who are not getting the sanitary towels, because so many girls are getting sanitary towels, and also at the same time, so many girls are not getting sanitary towels. So we don't want the girls ambao washapata sanitary towels. No, we want the girls ambao they are not part of any project. They are not part of any other initiative, because we want to balance, like to make sure that everyone is getting this sanitary towel. Because I've lived in Kibra and I've seen how a sanitary towel zinagawiwa. Watu kuja, kuna wakati nimepata sanitary towel wiki mzima. Nimeenda Monday kwa initiative nikapata sanitary towel, nikaenda Tuesday kwa initiative nyingine nikapata sanitary towels, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Problema kuna sanitary ngapi? 7. And there's a girl who doesn't even have one. You get? But kama Proline angekuwa in a specific initiative that makes sure that Proline doesn't get sanitary towel from other program, then that means the extra 6 sanitary towels ambazo nimepeleka kwetu kwa nyumba na ninaenda kuweka huko maybe kama kushowcase ama kama kufanya nini, what if hizi 6 zipatiwe mtu mwingine? Ndio ile wiki nyingine tena Proline atapata, ile month nyingine Proline atapata moja, alafu apart from just Proline atakuwa amesaidia wasichana wengine 6 kupata sanitary towel. So that's the reason why we have a website. And the most spiciest place here in nilikuwa naambia is the fact that when you become part of Us for Her, or when you become a member of Us for Her, or when you donate to a girl, or when you choose a specific girl that you want to take the responsibility of donating to every single month, what we do is we make you a super person or a superman or a superwoman. So there will be a part on our website where we will have our donors. You get, we will have a part where tutakuwa na just profiles of people who are donating to Us for Her, people who are moving Us for Her forward. So kama utakuwa part of the initiative, utakuwa hapo, then unaweza you can just go anywhere and tell people I am part of this initiative. You can say anything about Us for Her. You can sell Us for Her if you want, but sell it shatuambia.
Yeah. The idea like Proline was saying is to have, if we have 150 girls, we know each of this girl will get a pad every month
for the rest of her life.
And we also find out mbona huyu hakukujia this month, because there's some problems that happen. Maybe something happened at home and I'm not able to come to the pads. Because we know the girls we're donating to will be able to also help them solve certain problems.
Yes.
Yeah. Any
So,
other questions?
wanaume tafadhali kujeni on board, kwa sababu nyinyi ndo mnafaa kukua kwa mstari wa mbele.
Yes. Right? Any other questions? Any other comments?
Comments? Like, tell us, thank you guys, we are happy.
I am seeing them for chats.
We are happy about you guys. You guys are amazing.
Guys, thank you guys. We are happy. Your website is amazing. Your work is amazing. I remember we were sitting, was it in January, when you guys told me this idea, and I was like, you guys go. Me, I'm behind you. I'm so happy you started this thing. Wanaume wako happy. If you have a mother, if you have a sister, if you have a girlfriend, if you sleep with women, you should be here.
And this is also a challenge to you as men, Mike and the other guys. This is also a challenge for you to bring girls on board, to look for girls who can't afford something. It's a group that is giving
This is my job at JPL Stars.
Tumewapoteza, kuna information hatujasikia. Kuna vitu hatusikii, kuna kelele kwa background.
Esther, I think your internet is having a bit of trouble because you're fading.
Yes.
Iko na interference kidogo. Yeah, awesome job, people.
Okay, so Malichiza ulitupoteza ni tulikuwa tunasema mtu akuje on board, and if you know a girl who's not getting sanitary towels, let her. If you have a girlfriend, you have a sister, make sure you're the one as a man carrying like umepata pads this month, ama shika tu iso out of the blue, simongelashe mpatie tu so
mimi kwanza
next month mpatie so and pad
nipitie tu niambie Proline, ama ukiniona unatoka kwa barabara nipe tu so uniambie mami hii hapa nitajua tu
pads. Ukweli.
Yeah, Proline, mine is just to appreciate ni kama Us for Us. First of all, mimi ndio the first beneficiary, and I'm really honored. As in our madam, they really look forward to what you started, and they are so amazed, and I'm so happy about the website. It looks, it's so beautiful, and I pray that this program will really continue, because sometimes I was wondering, madam wanakuja, wana knock na mimi sina pads, but when you approached me, I was really humbled, because there are so many organizations hapo mtaani, and these girls, like, I thank God, because there's no day what I lack sanitary towels. And when you told me ikifika end month Joyce nipigie, Unajua hiyo ilinipatia pia hiyo responsibility ya kutaka kujua au madem kawa wako safe, if they are really responsible young people hapo kwa society, and na make sure hakuna dem mwenye ana misbehave just because ana sanitary, because I have promised them that through Proline and her initiative together with the team of Asha and Mike, najua hawatakosa sanitary towel. So for me, it's just to appreciate you and to tell you may God bless you. Hata mimi ndakuwa donor. Na manze, God our bless, and may God open doors for you so that you may continue touching lives beyond Kibera and even go global. God bless you for this initiative.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you.
I'd like to say something.
Yes, Esther.
I just want to know how to be a superwoman. How do I donate? Like, how do I, for the I don't know. I'm really amazed. The website is it's a full initiative. I think a lot of people will want to. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Now.
Can you?
Now we
Okay.
can. Now we can hear you.
Oh, now you can. Okay. Okay, thank you. I'll write it on the chat.
I think I had your question was how to become a superwoman. We are having delays with the pay bill. Immediately it's up, we'll add PayPal too, so that you have two of them and you can donate in any way, so that we will be able to track who's like giving, and we can make you a superwoman. And the idea is not only in how much you give, but also are you, if our girls have certain problems, are you also communicating in terms of how can you help and stuff like that? Yes, thank you.
I would also like to say congratulations to the people behind this, and muendelee na kazi hiyo, na I'm happy to see ladies supporting, because wasichana wengi ndio wamekuwa wanataka kusupport kutoka huko nyuma, but hawataki kuja mstari wa mbele. Nashukuru sana kwa mambo ambayo mnafanya, na naombea sana isianguke kwa njia. Unajua kuanza ni rahisi, lakini kuisustain ndio shida. Kwa hivyo naomba mpate nguvu na ambayo itawezesha ili kufanikisha as for her. Let's be what we want in our community. Good job, guys.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chisa, and thank you everyone for joining this conversation.
Oh, thank you guys.
We had an amazing talk.
We had an amazing day.
Yeah, also pioneer this conversation because now you are more informed.
Yeah.
Inform other people, educate them, educate your brother, educate your uncle, educate your father. Let them be aware of what is happening. Educate your sister too, because they're the ones who are feeling ashamed.
Yeah.
Educate them too. Yes.
Though in the meantime, before we get our pay bill number, anyone who has Proline's number and has Asha's number or Mike's number, you can donate through any of those numbers.
Yeah.
Tukimaliza pay bill tutatuma.
Yes, bana.
Thank you guys. Tunashukuru.
Bye.
It's been awesome.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, people.
Thank you.
Okay, let's stop.